I wasn't going to do another anime coming soon list on account of being extremely fucking lazy, but when I saw the absolute state of some of this stuff, I believe it's my civic duty to shit on all of it. Solo Leveling is back with Season 2. Enjoy the exact same plot of the first season. This thing is too powerful, barely win through plot contrivance, get lots of XP, body a bunch of scrubs, and repeat. I personally blame the success of Solo Leveling on the status window epidemic that we've been stuck with, like a baby left outside in the cold in a basket. If you like status windows in anime, then feel free to open up your own status window. I do it by rolling my eyes at you, scroll down past your terrible stats and ooh, what's this? There appears to be some sort of debuff. Oh, it's called being a fucking moron. 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really, Really Love You fits firmly into the fiction category in your case. The only people, if you're wondering, who actually have 100 girlfriends are Chinese emperors and rappers. Call me a mystic, but of 100 girls, I bet he doesn't even smash a single one. Apothecary Diaries is a certified wolf banger, and I'm looking forward to a season 2. Set in the fictionalised Chinese court where she is taken on as a maid after being kidnapped and solves mysteries thanks to her mysterious father's training and a handsome court eunuch. For Americans, a eunuch is when you have your cock cut off, but not in a fun trans way. Sakamoto Days is the long-awaited adaptation about an old man who used to be a hitman, but now works in retail after promising his wife to never kill again. I don't know whether old Ethel who works in my local Morrison's used to kill people, but she's almost got me a few times by scanning my pizzas at a quite frankly fucking glacial pace. Dr. Stone is back for another season, I couldn't be bothered to check which. Based around some fucking science dork who aims to rebuild humanity using novel little inventions and knowledge, in a world where humanity was turned to stone. In the first season, they carefully considered who must be awoken to help push humanity forward, and out of the Stone Age choices, they went with things like manual labourer, a fighter, crafting expert, etc. This has led me to theorise on who might be my top 5 choices, which if you're wondering is Fabregas, the Vessel, the Green Power Ranger, Ralph, and the Wombat from the Compare the Meerkat adverts, exclusively so that it's me that gets to beat him to death. My Happy Marriage Season 2 is about an arranged marriage. We're fucking back, India. In this show, there are people who can see spirits, unlike me at a bar after I've had too many of them. Next up, we have a show that has a very relatable plot, specifically to 1.429 billion people. More specifically, India. I'm Getting Married to the Girl That I Hate is, you guessed it, another arranged marriage anime. Allow Wolf-chan here to surmise the entire show for you. I hate you, Odi-chan, senpai. Baka. Whether it means I hate her because she's mean or because she likes me, or whether it's more of a British school hate. A girl once told me, unsolicited I may add, that I was fat and ugly. I didn't even know her. So obviously I told people she had chlamydia and she cried, because it turned out it was true, blaming her friend for telling her most darkest secret. Unnamed Memory Act 2 is the follow-up to the first season that follows the story of a prince who becomes cursed so that no fair maiden will survive bearing his child, clearly wasting the ability to nut in whoever he wants. He goes to ask the Witch of the Tower, and she says, well, only a woman of great magical power can bear your cummies. So he's like, what about you? Ooh. And she says, maybe if we get to know each other, notices bulge. I may be a receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out in time. It's not an accurate depiction of how I got sacked from Subway, but is a new anime. I find these anime about unexpected powerful people quite fun, but it does raise a somewhat important ethics question, where presuming adventuring is dangerous work where people die. You have just lost your closest travelling companions, your friends for life. Leaving you despairing and alone, you stumble into the guild hall, bleeding and injured. You slowly approach the receptionist. I'll kill it, don't worry, the receptionist says, hopping over the counter, blushing and hiding her rising short skirt. You don't notice, the image of your friends being ripped to pieces fresh in your consciousness. I'll be back, she squeaks, skipping away. You wait a few minutes, thinking about what you're going to do now, your friend's gone and dead. You look outside and you see the severed head of your foe. I did it! I'm an S-rank adventurer, though I may not look it. I took this job to support my younger brother who wants to be an adventurer one day. The hand of your friend hangs limply from the beast's great maw. You know it's Fabian. He was the only one with a wedding ring. His family will inevitably starve in the winter. But I found my great sword's God Harbinger when I was being all clumsy and fell over it. What a klutz. Then me and my rabbit familiar got caught by the Goblin King, who I beat when I span around and got all dizzy. Then I flew back on my dragon, who likes to drink at the mythical Fountain of Youth. He could have beat this monster up easy, but I gave him some errands to run, like picking up apples from the market. Sir? Sir? Possibly the greatest alchemist of all time is not the story about the famed creator of penicillin or the guy who made LSD for the CIA, but is this cunt apparently. Just looking at the teaser art, there's no way this dickhead isn't reincarnated, and it's more evidence I'm adding to the Wolf dossier that the Japanese government uses story like this to recruit youth to undermanned industries. This one caters to the pharmacies and the pharmaceutical industry. With that being said, I'm looking forward to next season when they cover some other industry, such as reincarnated as a crab fisherman, world's greatest accountant, oops, I got the graphic designer skill, and finally, help, I'm the world's only gynecologist, which tell me you fucking perverts wouldn't enjoy. Side note here, I do enjoy the alchemist doctor trope, as it triggers what I like to call the silly billy region in my brain. It refers to having information based on our modern understanding that is given to us in basic education, but also makes us believe that if we were to go back in time or to another world, that we'd essentially be the smartest person on the planet. No, you dumb fuck. Bow before my knowledge, you silly billy. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf is not what my sister would be told on arrivals, on account of essentially being me but smaller, but also doubles as a potential threat based on how you say it. I assume the visit is consensual and is not an elaborate conclusion to a difficult extradition treaty, after the elf in question has committed large amounts of laundering of the yen. Medaka Koira is immune to my charms. It's not about my time at a Japanese high school, where I was a certified dog, I'll tell you what. But a fun little rom-com about a girl who can't handle a guy not falling for her. I hope it's a nice flip on the bumbling loser genre. I hate the reborn as a noble trope. They are boring and annoy me. They offer the idea of a secure upbringing and education, and most importantly, innate attraction from women. As worst comes to worst, an arranged marriage can always sort it out. I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well master magic. Here comes another wolf prediction. He's raised a noble, has a beautiful teacher with massive tits, and there's a scene where they're like, oh, you are the fifth son, there's nothing to inherit. And he's like, whoa, how did I not see that coming? He begins training while the second oldest sibling is like, ha, he hasn't even mastered the fireball. Then he does it, thanks to some bollocks, and his older sibling is actually really nice and is happy for him. He sets off to find a harem and literally has no problems ever again. The elf girl's cat is actually an S-rank monster. I've got a couple jokes here besides her comically large tits, so let me tell you them. Considering other S-rank monsters such as Joseph Fritzl, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy, I can only assume that this cat has committed some unspeakable sex crime. Oh, here's another one. The idea that this cat is an S-rank monster means that the best way to get XP from him is to simply poison its whiskers. Ooh, I've got one more. The elf girl from Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf, has broken free from custody with the help of good pussy. I joked last time that the shittest title I've ever heard was World's Greatest Talker Came to Lead the World's Strongest Party, but that record is quite frankly fucking obliterated by this word-for-word reading. Bogus skill fruit master, about that time that I became able to eat unlimited skill fruits that kill you. This alone caused my ghost from the horror movie video to reincarnate in a noble's body, find the nearest battlement, and then dive onto a guard's spear like a back alley doner kebab. This is what I'm going to do from now on. If I hear a shit title, I'm going to scream into a pillow. I left my ranked party to help my students reach the dungeon's depth. Obviously, because this is anime, he's only chosen students that have short skirts. So as we say in the UK, total nonce. Oh, good news, Russian speakers. If you aren't sent to the front line, then you get to watch Ubel Blit. Next up, we have Headhunted in Another World, from Salaryman to Big Four. Oh, where's my pillow? I once headhunted in another world, but apparently that still counts as soliciting prostitutes. I can assume that it's a power fantasy, where modern corporate techniques are applied to radically change the fortunes of a struggling company, who you know it's going to be selling some monster cores or some shit like that. I've wondered what Japanese corporate techniques will be taken over, and I imagine the main one is simply working your employees to death. Next we have Honey Lemon Soda. If you aren't aware of my writing process, let me lift up the curtain to the Wolf Cave. I look at the titles and images first, write the jokes, and then closer to release, I look at the trailers and write some more. Cut a bit here and there, and voila. With that being said, I can't glimpse a fucking thing about this show from this poster, so I'm going to let Future Wolf elaborate. Thanks, dickhead. Honey Lemon Soda's plot is so boring to me that I'd rather drink all of the titular Honey Lemon Soda so long as it was mixed with industrial concrete mix and glass. About a quiet bullied girl looking for a fresh start in high school, a popular piss-haired young man drops his drink on her. Romance probably happens next. I'm Living with an Otaku Neat Kunoichi is a story about living with a ninja who never goes outside. I'm not sure whether it means the ones that never go outside or just total fucking gooners, but I can assume that if that's the case, then all ninja assassinations will be carried out by FPV drone. Daily life of a middle-aged shopper in another world, twat title scream counter 4. Here's another easily predictable story. Random cunt gets transported to another world, but can still access Wish.com and Temu. A very confused and underpaid delivery driver leaves the items and then loses his job after taking 4 million light years to break back through the fabric of time and space to get back to the Amazon delivery point in Cleveland, whereby the Earth has long since vaporized into atomic dust. The cunt realises that some easily obtainable item in that world is worth loads of Earth money, and thus revolutionises the bumbling economy of a small village by inevitably building a hot spring for his dubiously young harem to enter naked. It's going to take 4 million light years, but the Rozzers are on their way. Magic Maker tells the story of a young Zinedine Zidane as he makes his way up the footballing ladder to the heights of the beautiful game, but first makes arbitrarily powerful magic. My favourite part of the poster is this girl, whose expression is weirdly real, and seems to say, "What the fuck are you doing with your life, making videos as a fake wolf?" Grisaria Phantom Trigger is not what I tell the jury was the reason for my service weapon discharging at that unarmed civilian child, but is actually about an anime with girls with guns. Naturally, Anime Girl Wolf has decided to opt for the 120mm mobile howitzer, rather than some pussy-ass Glock 17 or an AK-47U. The Red Ranger becomes an adventure in another world. I'm not even going to scream for that one, as I have more questions than internal pain. The denizens of the other world are waiting with bated breath, hoping that they don't get the Red Ranger that murdered that guy with a sword. I can relate to this next one. I fell in love with an Okinawan girl, I just wish I knew what she was saying. I too have struggled with this when talking to women, but rather than an accent or dialect, I just don't fucking listen. Fate Strange Fake is another in the Fate series, which seems to be about another Holy Grail war, which I thought ended with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Fate shows can be a mixed bag, ranging from excellent to total shit. I swear I've seen I've Had a Crush at Work, not on Crunchyroll but on LiveLeak. This one seems to be about an office romance rather than a horrific industrial safety failure. I was a bit confused here, because I thought Can You Keep a Secret was the story of Jeffrey Epstein's prison guards. Actually, it tells the story of two office workers trying not to fuck each other's brains out as they politely keep their relationship secret from their co-workers. This is marvellously refreshing, considering that most rom-coms have dialogue like this. I know. Hi. I know. Hi. Zenchu is a literal self-insert about animators, where one is so focused on her work that when it's time to direct a show about first love, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. If I was an animator on this show, I'd be glaring angrily at my boss like a freshly glazed ham. Even given the worthless appraiser class, I'm still the strongest. If you aren't aware, I actually have the appraiser skill. Let me activate it on this anime. Yeah, it's shit. From Bureaucrat to Villainess tells the story of Margaret Thatcher's rise to power, who always seems to make appearances in my videos somehow. 52-year-old civil servant gets placed into a role of an Otome game villain. An Otome game, for those wondering, is the socially acceptable version of hentai games, where the sexiest thing possible is an effeminate man leaning against you. Naturally, sticking to what I know, if I were placed in the same position in an Otome game, I would use my British manners and morals, which basically equate to queuing and saying, "Thanks boss," as I get off buses. Medalist is an ice skating anime about a skater who's now finished his career but is still considered to have started too late to achieve major success. He meets a young girl who's also considered to have started too late. Starting too late in ice skating basically means you didn't come gliding out of the womb. He becomes her coach and aims to help her get a medal. Unfortunately for her, he didn't specify which medal, so she's going to get deployed to the Arctic Warfare Division of the Green Berets, where she can receive the Medal of Honor in combat, or the Purple Heart if she's injured fighting a polar bear. I really think I missed out on the perfect job for me, which is ice skating coach. What other profession can you essentially throw an ill-prepared child through the air onto slippy concrete? Ameku MD is about a mystery and crime-solving doctor. Whether she'll go down the route of a house drug addict doctor or a good doctor autistic doctor, I just hope she doesn't go down the Lucy. Flower and Asa is about a young girl called Hannah. She's noticed by the president of the broadcasting club, and she joins as she develops her storytelling ability to make content for her friends. Naturally, I think Hannah should stay in her fucking lane and leave the dumb funnies to me, a cartoon wolf. Anyway, I'm falling in love with you is not what I say to the goth tattooed woman in fishnets in the supermarket, but is actually a romance about liking a senpai and then a childhood friend confessing, "Ooh, whatever will she do?" The whole childhood friend trope in anime never really resonated with me, since the childhood friends I had used to eat slug poison, because apparently it was tasty. Promise of Wizard does not have a synopsis, so Future Wolf, you sexy bastard, please enlighten us. Thanks, dickhead. No idea. I Want to Escape from Princess Lessons is what a bratty bottom would say, but is also an anime. About a free-spirited duchess who is betrothed to the crown prince, but she'd rather jump in puddles and be a fucking idiot than queen. A position where she could literally do whatever she wanted. After showing up with some other hussy, she thinks the betrothal is off and bounces, only for the dastardly prince to still think the marriage is on. Ooh, the cheek of him. Let's play a little game with this one. I'm going to read out the synopsis, and I want you to press the button on screen when you would call the police. If you can't see it, then it must be beneath the like button. Press it once and see what happens. Feel free to comment when you press the button, as I dare say it may be quick. Okay? Ready. Maury works and lives at a bathhouse. His true identity is a 450-year-old vampire. Seeking the ultimate taste of 18-year-old virgin blood, may I remind you I am reading this verbatim, he continues to protect the virginity of 15-year-old Rahito, the owner's son. However, he falls in love with a girl in class and must prevent his virginity lost at all cost. Yikes. Bang Dream, which I wake up from sweating and lonely, is a J-pop idol thing, I presume. On Soraro Utility is about a young girl who doesn't want to be an NPC, so takes up golf for some reason, like that will fucking help. Now, not to cast aspersions on an entire sport, but golf rivals badminton and squash for the lamest activity possible, only beaten by people who actually spend money on OnlyFans. Momentary Lily, I believe, is about the screen time of Harry Potter's mum. Tasokari Hotel is about a hotel that exists in between day and night, a bit like casinos where they deliberately have no windows or clocks. There's a fun fact cube, good lad. As a place in between life and death, again, like a casino, it's for spirits who are undecided on whether they are leaving this world or staying, a bit like the billionaires whose rockets I've been sabotaging.